Welcome back, Pokemon trainers. Professor Chaz here. The lab coat's on back order, and it's time for this week's Pokemon TCG live online match. But not just any match, it is our landmark match number 51. That's right. As a viewer by the name of Danny Sixers pointed out in last week's episode, last week was our 50th live online match that I've uploaded to the channel. And I remember going into this, as I saw we were getting closer to number 50, I was thinking, I want to make a big mention when we hit number 50, because that's kind of a landmark number. Usually, I don't notice what the number is of the match until after I've recorded it and I'm editing it. So I want to try to keep more, close in mind the numbers that we're going through with these matches. And once we get to match number 100, if I remember, I'm going to make a big deal about that one. But we are here in the second half of our first 100 battles, episode 51, match number 51, and we're still continuing to check out the break evolutions from the new Steam Siege expansion. So for this week, since we already looked at Yanmega Break last week, and that's some pretty good power behind that one, I want to show off another Pokemon Break, of course, and we're going to use it in this deck that I've called Life Break. And if you're familiar with the Pokemon Break evolutions, it wasn't until I assembled this deck that I even really sat down to look at what each one of them can do. But I decided I'm going to go with sort of a bit of a nostalgia, retro sort of thing for myself. I am a player of Pokemon X version for Gen 6, so I decided let's start things off with the X legendary Xerneas BREAK. It is a fairy type, of course, with the Life Stream attack for 2 fairy energy 20 times. This attack does 20 damage times the amount of energy attached to all of your Pokemon. So if you can get some good energy attached to all your Pokemon, you're going to be doing a lot more damage with Life Stream. 20 per energy card. Going to come in very handy, very powerful. I've got 2 Xerneas Break in the deck and 3 Xerneas. Now, I like to try to make my deck standard, and even though I don't think the standard format has rotated just yet, I don't want to use any older cards if I can help it from Fandom Forces and beyond, because those are going to be rotated out of the standard format. Now, in the current Steam Siege expansion, they have a Xerneas card, which has the exact same attacks as the X and Y base set Xerneas. Unfortunately, with all the trades I tried to set up, I couldn't get anybody to trade me the Xerneas from the Steam Siege expansion. But since this does have the same attacks, I can use this Xerneas and basically consider this to be the standard format, legal Xerneas card. Anyway, Geomancy, you can get some fairy energy out of the deck. Rainbow Spear can do 100 damage. I'm probably not even going to try to use this Xerneas, though, because what I would prefer to do is use this Xerneas from the Breakthrough expansion. It's got more options for attacks. Rainbow Force does, for a fairy and color, or 2 colorless, Rainbow Force does 10 plus, 30 more damage for each different type of Pokemon on your bench. Power Creation for 2 fairy, 2 colorless does 80 damage plus 80 more if you heal Xerneas during that turn. So I'm going to try to focus on those attacks plus the Life Stream, and you're going to see I got some kind of cool ideas in mind. Now, first of all, I've got 2 Xerneas Break, 3 Xerneas. We're going to scroll down here to Energy Acceleration option for this deck is going to be Magnezone, also from Breakthrough. As often as you like during your turn, Magnetic Circuit ability allows you to attach a lightning energy from your hand to a Pokemon. If you can get a nice hand of, say, 3 or 4 lightning energy, you can attach all of them to a Pokemon. Suddenly, Xerneas Break is doing another 80 damage if you get all 4 attached by doing that. So Energy Acceleration is going to be there with Magnezone. I've got 2 Magnezone, only 1 Magneton, because you'll see I do have some rare candies this week, and 3 Magnemite. The idea is I got 2 basic Magnemite here, no ability, but I have this one with the Sparkling Induction ability for free retreat purposes. If I have a basic Magnemite on the bench and this one is active, as long as this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, its retreat cost is 1 colorless less for each Magnemite on your bench. So I can keep 2 Magnemite in play, this one and one of the other ones, for free retreating purposes if I have a Pokemon get knocked out. I can send this one up, free retreat. So there are 2 Magnezone, 1 Magneton, 3 Magnemite, and just to sort of get creative with the Rainbow Force, for each different type of Pokemon on your bench, this does 30 more damage. I'm going to combine this with a dual type. Now, in testing, this does work. This counts as a grass and fire type on your bench. Volcarona itself increases Xerneas' attack by 60. And Volcarona might be doing some damage, not with Shimmering Scales, because I don't have any grass energy in the deck this week, but Power Hurricane could be kind of powerful. 120 damage, you discard all energy attached to it, unfortunately, but for a one-shot attack, I can get some good damage off. If I happen to have 3 lightning energy and Magnezone in play, I could just attach 3 more if I really need to. So there are 2 Volcarona and 2 Larvesta, both from the new Steam Siege expansion, and that's going to round out the deck at 15 Pokemon. Scrolling down, we'll see I've got 4 basic Fairy Energy and 10 basic Lightning. A little light on the Fairy Energy since the Life Stream does take 2 Fairy Energy to power up. But if I can get the Rainbow Force attack going off as well, I just need 1 Fairy Energy for that, and then 2 of any other energy. But if things go well, I can get 1 Xerneas Break powered up, and that might be all I need to get through these matches. But that is going to be 14 energy cards. Now for the ever important trainer card section. We got 2 energy retrievals in case we do lose some energy, for example, from Volcarona's Power Hurricane, or just from other things that might happen. 2 of those to bring back 2 basic energy from the discard pile to hand. I've got the escape rope, and I've also got a switch card down here, because there is a possibility that Magnezone might find itself in the active spot if the opponent plays Lysandre or something like that. I'm not going to focus on using Magnezone for attacking, but there are rare instances where it might get some good damage off of Thunder Blast. But if Magnezone is active and I don't want it to be active, I can either pay the 3 retreat cost, or for free, retreat with the escape rope and the switch card. I've also got an Evo Soda to help speed up the evolutions, because there's a lot of evolutions for this week. 2 Fairy Drops, which is one of those healing options for Xerneas' Power Creation attack. Heal 50 damage from one of your Pokemon that has any Fairy energy attached to it. Not bad, it's going to heal, plus double the damage of Power Creation. I've got 2 Professor's Letters to find 2 basic energy cards that are in the deck and put them right into my hand. There's a couple of those rare candies, as I said, skipping from a basic to a stage 2 Pokemon if that Pokemon is in your hand. You don't need to play through to get to the stage 1 evolution. I got 2 Super Rods, because I like to run Super Rod with Sycamore. I've often said this, I hate having a hand of stage 2 Pokemon, the basics in play, no option to get the stage 1s, and Sycamore. I can play Sycamore, go for the, hopefully get the stage 1s drawn off, but I lose my stage 2s in the process. But with the Super Rod, I do have 2 of them. I can shuffle back 3 in any combination of any kind of Pokemon, plus basic energy back into the deck. Very useful for getting back some lost stuff. There's that switch card. I've got 2 Ultra Balls, and I've said this many times, I'll continue to say it many times. Ultra Ball combo with the Professor's Letter and Energy Retrieval. Play your Professor's Letter, get 2 basic energy. Play the Ultra Ball to discard 2 cards from hand, being the energy, find a Pokemon. Then Energy Retrieval, the energy back into hand. You go through 3 trainer cards doing this, but you gain a Pokemon and 2 energy in the process. Very handy stuff. And 2 Versus Seekers to round out the items to bring back any supporters from the discard pile. Supporters are going to start with, I got 2 copies of Bridget this week. Search your deck for 3 basic Pokemon, non-EX, or 1 EX if you use them, and put that Pokemon or those Pokemon onto your bench immediately. I've got 2 of her to try to speed things up, get some Pokemon out. I've got 1 Clement in here too, to search your deck for up to 4 Lightning Energy cards and put them into hand. If Magnezone is in play, I can then put all 4 of those energy cards right down onto a Pokemon. If Xerneas is ready to use the Life Stream attack, then I can do 80 more damage just like that. Lysandre is also here, switching the opponent's Pokemon around, choosing something from the bench to bring up. Could go for a nice powerful knockout, or if I'm not set up yet, I can bring something up with no energy attached and a high retreat cost to sort of stall things out a bit as I prepare myself a little bit better. Pokemon Center Lady, another healing option to power up Xerneas BREAK's Power Creation, or Xerneas' Power Creation. Heal 60 damage and special conditions from a Pokemon. And for some draw support of a new hand of cards, I've got Professor Birch, Professor Sycamore, and Shauna. Each of them gets me a new hand of cards. Sycamore discards what I have, the other 2 shuffle back in. Birch is basically like Shauna, but with a chance to be better, and a chance to be not too much worse. Flip a coin. If heads, you draw 7 cards, so 2 more than Shauna gets you. On tails, you draw 4, so only 1 less than Shauna gets you. But it could come in handy. And I like to run Skyla in the deck. I've got 2 Skylas in here. Search your deck for a trainer card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. If it's an item or a stadium, you can play those right away. If it's a supporter, of course, I can just hold on to that for next turn to prepare myself for my next play. And I say this many times in retrospect. This time I'm thinking about it ahead of time. I'm including the teammates. You can only play this card if one of your Pokemon was knocked out during your opponent's last turn. So from damage or an ability such like that, Poison and Burn will not trigger this teammates card because that happens between turns. But if they do knock out a Pokemon during their turn, search your deck for up to 2 cards, any ones you want, and put them into your hand. You don't even need to reveal them to your opponent, which is very nice. And the last supporter is going to be Wally to evolve a non-Pokemon EX the very turn you put it into play if need be, which could come in handy. You can Evo Soda into, for example, Magneton, Wally into Magnezone, and you go from Magnemite to the fully evolved form in 1 turn. We also have 2 Fairy Gardens, 2 Stadiums. That's the last of the trainer cards this week. Each Pokemon that has any Fairy energy attached to it, both yours and the opponent, has no retreat cost. That could be another way to retreat Magnezone from the active spot if necessary, but I'm probably not going to do that because I want to reserve the Fairy energy to use for the attacking of Xerneas and Xerneas BREAK, so we'll have to see what happens as the match plays out. But that is going to be the deck for our 51st Pokemon TCG Live Online match, featuring Xerneas BREAK, 15 Pokemon, 31 trainers, 14 energy cards. Let's jump into the Versus section of Pokemon TCG Online right now and see how well we do in this week's match. Alright, our first opponent for the day, Rawwitch, with a colorless and fire-type deck. So let's see how well we can do with Xerneas BREAK. So I'm going to adjust my volume here. I've chosen fitting music of all musics, the Xerneas legendary encounter, well, Xerneas Yveltal legendary encounter from X and Y. And Y is just taking forever to load. Bear with me as it takes its sweet time to get prepared here. But let's see. Rawwitch is calling for the coin flip. Alright, so do we get to take the first turn? They win the flip. They get choice. We do. Alright, so what do we have to work with? We can't attack on the first turn, but we can start powering up. We do have the Xerneas that I kind of don't even want to use. They don't have a basic. So I'm still going to, you know what? If I can evolve up into Volcarona, we'll have a 1 retreat cost. So I'm going to lead with that Larvesta. And we'll end here. Let's see what the opponent is working with as I set my prize cards up. Talonflame Break. Okay. I wonder if they're going to be using nothing but the Talonflame with the Gale Wings. But we did see Fletchinder, so chances are they have some Fletchling in here to start evolving. Now we could see... Ooh, they have the Arceus collection sleeves. Very nice. And of course, we're using the Blastoise sleeves and Charizard deck box for the Pokemon 20 celebration, the collections. We'll take a card for the mulligan, and we get another energy. Ooh, a Flareon-EX. Alright. So it's going to take a while to power that up, fortunately. I'm going to attach a lightning energy to Larvesta. And if they start getting too much energy on that Flareon, we can go ahead and Lysandre up the Fletchling. Just to sort of slow things down a little bit. Now, what does my opponent go for? You see Professor's Light are going to find 2 of their basic fire energy out of the deck. And Blaze Ball from Flareon does more damage the more fire energy that is attached to it. I'd really like to get a Sycamore right about now. Get a whole new hand going on. Another Flareon-EX to the bench. So, it has a higher retreat cost. What I'm going to do, I'm going to give them 1 more turn to put a fire energy to this Flareon. Then I'm going to Lysandre up the other one. And it's weak to water, so we can't really do super effective damage. I'm thinking Ultra Ball. I'm going to Ultra Ball away these 2 lightning energy. And grab a Volcarona so we can retreat if need be. Where are you at? There we go. So it is grass and fire. It's going to be weak to fire. Kind of funny, it's a fire-type card, weak to fire. But of course, just because of the grass-type half of it. And might as well evolve into Xerneas Break. And we could retreat, but there's nothing Xerneas Break can do at the moment, so we're going to end the turn here. And let my opponent throw 1 more fire energy to the Flareon before I Lysandre the other one up. A Trainer's Mail is played. Find from the top 4 cards whatever trainer card they would like to use. They're going to pick Shauna for a whole new hand of cards. Alright, do they have anything to play? They did get a second fire energy with that Professor's Letter, though. Evolution into Fletchinder on the bench. There is that second fire energy, of course, as I said, so we can go ahead and bring the other Flareon up as they Shauna away their hand. If they bring something with an even heavier retreat cost, that could be a way to go. Anything else for your bench? Possibly. We don't see anything yet, though. There we go. Another Fletchling. So we are good to start slowing things down. Lysandre is the way to go. And we can grab ourselves 2 Fairy Energy from the deck now. Let's grab a Generations one and the Standard one. I see there's only 1 left, so one of them is a prize card. But let's go ahead and start powering up the Xerneas. Now, if this would really work better if I'm using this, the basic Xerneas with the Geomancy with more Fairy Energy, because you can start powering up 2 more energy per turn, and then next turn do Life Stream for more damage. But for the time being, we gotta work with what we have, and next turn I can power up for the Life Stream. It's not gonna do a lot of damage because we don't have a lot of energy in play yet, but we can at least start doing something to the Flareon. And if necessary, I do have Versus Seeker to bring something back. How much can this do with a max fire energy Blaze Ball? 110, so he would survive 1. And then if I have a Fairy Drop and Pokemon Center Lady, that would be very nice. Okay, so another Fletchinder on the bench. Do we get to see the Talonflame yet? Not just yet, it looks like. Could have some option to find it at some point, though. And another energy applied to the Flareon-EX. I wonder if they have a switch card. So Rare Candy is not going to help us at all. But we are now going to retreat for that 1 energy. go into Xerneas BREAK and just start doing some damage. And get off the life stream. Gonna do 40 damage to the Flareon. With one more energy attached to something, I can do 60. I could get a knockout. Nope, 70 HP for Fletchinder. Alright, never mind that. Right about now, I would love to get some sort of new hand. So, Sycamore, Shauna, Professor Birch, you're all in there somewhere. Can I find access to you? I've got a Lightning Energy. Let's put that to the Volcarona, start powering up for the Power Hurricane if we need to use that. Go for another basic Lifestream, 40 damage. Smashing that Flareon-EX. No, sorry, 60 damage. One more energy attached and we can get enough damage to knock that Flareon out. But that being the case, I'm probably going to hold off on attacking. Because if I can get enough energy attached to take out the energized Flareon, that's going to be the best way to go. Let's drop this Xerneas to the bench. What if I were to do this? I can Geomancy now. I'm going to Geomancy. And why can't I choose the Pokemon? Hang on. This isn't fair. Wait a minute. It says to choose 2 of my basic Pokemon. Yeah, choose 2 of my bench Pokemon. I want to choose this one. So hang on. How do I work this? There's got to be a way I can ignore this. Done. There we go. Okay. I was like, if it's going to force me to attach it to the Volcarona, that's not fair. But it worked out well. Okay. So with that, we're going to do 80 damage now with the Life Stream, not Geomancy. Fighting Fury Belt added to that Flareon, so it's got 40 more HP. And a switch card. Does that help us? No. So I'm not going to attack. I have to leave this Flareon-EX active until I can get enough energy to do damage to bring out the powerful one, or bring down the powerful one. I'm going to need 11 energy cards attached to be able to do that. If I could somehow get the Xerneas on the bench to break Evolve, which could come in handy, or could, be possible, I'm going to switch into the Volcarona. I want to play out a card from hand. I'm going to Super Rod back in these 3 Lightning Energy, and now I'm going to play Shauna. Let's see what a new hand of cards can bring us. The reason I played Switch, first of all, to thin it out, I don't want to draw it back into hand. Plus, I do have a 1 retreat cost on Volcarona there, as we find Magnemite and another Magnemite. Alright, so I can retreat and go for the attack, but I'm going to leave Volcarona up there for the time being. Just to take a hit if necessary. No, you know what? I'm going to retreat into Magnemite with the Sparkling Induction, because we have the free retreat on that one right there. Plus, if necessary, I can play the Fairy Garden and get free retreat for anything that has Fairy Energy attached. So, I gotta be careful. The moment that Flareon-EX with the Fighting Fury Belt comes up, it's gonna do a lot of damage to the team. It's doing 120 right now as things stand. What I want to do is get the other Xerneas powered up to possibly use the Rainbow Force or Power Creation. So let's go ahead and play Skyla. What do we need? I'm thinking I want to grab Sycamore. And the next turn I'm going to play everything I can. Can we do damage? We can do damage to this Flareon-EX and not knock it out. So I'm going to retreat into this Xerneas BREAK here. We'll do 60 as things stand. It's going to be 10 HP away from fainting, plus a very crucial prize card might be drawn once we get this KO. But I want to make sure our next Xerneas BREAK is prepared for battle. So what is next for my opponent? They're just, like I said, they're leaving the Flareon-EX up there just to take the damage. Back to my turn. Alright. So we have a Lightning Energy. Let's play the Magnemite. Since we don't have any other Fairy Energy in the deck, I can play this freely. I'm going to give this to the Xerneas. Because if I can Sycamore into a Rare Candy and Magnezone, then I might be able to immediately get more Lightning Energy and start powering up everybody with the ability. So Sycamore, discard the hand, find ourselves 7 brand new cards. Magnezone and Rare Candy. Alright, so we're going to Rare Candy this Magnemite into Magnezone. And we have Clement as well. So we can start using the ability. I'm going to give this lightning energy to Xerneas. And here's the thing, I want them to knock me out now, because I have teammates in hand. So let's go ahead and do the life stream, bopping down the Flareon-EX. You're welcome to bring the other one up if you like. Gain 2 prizes. We find the other fairy energy. No, we don't. But it's not all lost yet. If they do get a knockout on Xerneas Break, I've got teammates. I can play teammates for an energy retrieval, plus the Xerneas Break or an Evo Soda or something like that. There we see Talonflame is added to the bench. So I need to get 11 energy cards in play to knock out this Flareon-EX. I'm going to lose 2 with the Xerneas Break. Let me think here. So that's going to do a good amount. Not quite enough to bring us down, though. So we still have time to play Clement. Let's grab ourselves 4 more Lightning Energy. Start attaching all of those to the, thanks to the ability. I think we're looking like we're in a pretty good spot here. So I'm going to use Magnetic Circuit. We'll attach 3 to the Volcarona in case it needs to do some battle. And who else should take the others? Probably just the Magnezone itself. As I say, you're not likely going to see it in battle, but the Thunder Blast could do some good damage if necessary. There we go, and that is it. We're now going to go for the Life Stream, doing a nice chunk of 200 damage. That leaves you with only 10 left. Volcarona could take you down at this point. But you can go ahead and get the knockout. I welcome that. Oh no, our stadium's gone. Oh well. Alright, go for it, Flareon. Hit me with your best Blaze Ball you have. And Talonflame Break. So of course, it has the Flare Blitz attack now. 150, discard all fire energy attached to it. But I really like the Aero Blitz attack. Search your deck for up to 2 cards and put them into your hand. So it's like teammates, but you also do damage, and you don't need to lose a Pokemon in order to do that. Oh, the retreat, I see. Okay. Energy retrieval. Can you attach enough energy? I don't think you have enough. You have no ways to attach 2 energy to it, do you? You got 170 HP. We're gonna knock you out with a life stream. We're in a good spot. Now, do you have Blacksmith? Because I think it currently still is standard. Oh wait, you can do enough damage with that. Okay. All right. So search for 2 cards. You are weak to electric. But I think our best bet is to bring Xerneas up, play the teammates. In fact, I should have sent the Magnemite up with a free retreat and wait and see what teammates can get for me. But let's play teammates right now. I could Wally, of course, but I think the best bet is Xerneas Break and grab the energy retrieval. We are done there. And there we go. So now this is the Xerneas that I did want to break the vault because it has so many other attacks to work with. Let's bring back those 2 fairy energy that we have just lost. Attach 1 to the Xerneas Break. And how much damage can we do? So we've got 4 Pokemon types on the bench. It's going to do 120 plus 10, so 130. Not enough for a KO on Talonflame Break with the Power Creation. But with 170 HP, we've got 11 energy in... No, we've got 9 energy in play. 180 damage. Yes, there we go. This is the knockout. Life Stream. Down goes Talonflame Break. Not too bad. Now, of course, the Flareon-EX, how much can that do to us? If they can somehow Blacksmith 2 energy onto it, plus play 1 from hand, never mind. But I have Escape Rope. They're not going to like this. Never mind, I can go into the Fletchinder instead, or Fletchling. Have we used Lysandre yet? Yes, we have. Can we get a Versus Seeker by any chance? Looks like an Aero Blitz us here. Okay, how do we play this out? This is getting kind of interesting. They Shauna away to get a hand of 5 cards. Apparently the other cards in hand were not very useful for them, which happens in Pokemon TCG. You need a new hand every once in a while. That's why I included Birch, Sycamore, and Shauna this week in the deck. Professor's Letter. So I could Escape Rope into the Magnemite, retreat into Magnezone. Oh, they're going to switch. Alright, well, that is okay, because we're going to Escape Rope and bring one of those Pokemon up that's going to get destroyed. Now, does the opponent switch first? Yes, they do. So we're in a good spot. We're going to force them to switch something to the active spot. Then I get to choose. Do I send up? Either way, I could send up the Magnemite. Still have free retreat into whoever I want to use. Alright, so let's do that. Ooh, we've actually got Versus Seeker. This is the best way to go. I'm going to take down their super-powered Flareon. Although, can that even do anything to us, really? Nothing too dangerous, I don't believe. I'm going to grab Lysandre. I think probably the Talonflame is the bigger threat. If it can break evolve, it can do a lot of good damage. Let's attach this to the Xerneas on the bench. We're going to Magnetic Circuit, a Lightning Energy to the Magnezone itself. And just go for the Life Stream 20 times. Massive 220 damage. Only 2 prizes remain, and if they don't have anything else on the bench, we can play the Escape Rope and force a switch into the damaged Flareon-EX. Pretty sure we got the game in the bag at this point. Go ahead. Switch into something else. Put something else on the bench if you have it. Well, Fletchinder can't survive the hit. Can it even do anything to us? It can glide for 30 whopping damage. But is there anything else they can do? They're gonna, go right into Talonflame. Okay. But fortunately, as I say, as long as they don't have another bench Pokemon, we can force a switch into the Flareon for the last 2 prizes. In fact, we haven't even used the Rainbow Force or Power Creation, but you see the power of Life Stream. 20 damage times the amount of energy on all of your Pokemon. If you can accelerate energy, and for example, Magnezone could get Lightning Energy accelerated, you could also use Blacksmith in the expanded format to attach 2 Fire Energy. So you can get so much more energy accelerated onto these Pokemon. It's kind of wild how much you can do. So we're searching for 2 cards. Not that it is going to matter, of course, because we will Escape Rope into the Flareon-EX and the Magnemite. Free retreat back into the Xerneas Break. Go for, I think I'm going to use Rainbow Force. Just to make use of the Volcarona on the bench. You didn't really get to do any damage, but you did what you had to do. You powered up the Rainbow Force attack. Alright, let's just play out just the cards we need. Not waste my opponent's time, if possible. Magnemite comes up. Free retreat thanks to Magnemite being on the bench. Back into Xerneas Break. And go for it, Rainbow Force. Doing 130, I believe. If I've done the math right. Down goes the Flareon-EX. The last 2 prizes are claimed. And Xerneas Break does destroy the opponent with the Talonflame Break and Flareon-EX combo. Wasn't unscathed, we did lose 1 Pokemon along the way, but it was still a good match, and shows off the power of almost a Frozen Screen, but we're still back. And there we go, we get ourselves a nice 11 tokens for that. And pick up the victory. Alrighty. And that is going to wrap up this week's Pokemon TCG Live Online match featuring Xerneas Break, one of the Break evolutions from Steam Siege, and the Life Stream attack doing 20 damage times every energy card you have attached. Or not energy card, every energy. Things like Double Colorless, Double Dragon would actually provide 2 powers to that, so 40 damage for a double card attached. But, in retrospect, I realize you might be thinking, why didn't I include 3 Magnemite with Sparkling Induction? Because that way each one of them would have free retreat if there are, any 3 of them on the bench, or any 2 of them in play, or whatever like that. The reason is, I actually only have 1 of these guys. But, if I did have more, of course, I would prefer to use them. Free retreat for the Magnemite, as you saw in that last part of the turn, or the last turn of the game, is very useful, maneuvering your Pokemon however you like. So, as I say, that is a wrap for this week's Pokemon TCG Live Online match. First of all, before we get into anything about the Break evolutions, let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of the layout that I'm using for the face cam and gameplay stuff for Pokemon TCG? It seemed like it was a little bit busy at first. I sort of fixed it up a little bit. Do you think it should be touched up a little bit more, or do you like the way it looks, featuring the card of the week, face cam, gameplay, all that good stuff? And also, leave a comment down below and let me know which Pokemon Break evolution you'd like to see in next week's video. There are a few we haven't done yet. There are 7 total from Steam Siege. We've only used 2 of them thus far. We already saw Yanmega Break and Xerneas Break. We, of course, have options for Yveltal Break, Talonflame Break, which we kind of saw, but we didn't really get to see it in use because we destroyed it too quickly, and Pyroar Break, Hydreigon Break, and Clawitzer Break. If you have any preferences for a break evolution you'd like to see for next week and some possible cool strategy ideas for them, leave that in a comment down below. Let me know what you want to see, and I'll see what I can assemble for next week's video. And also, leave a comment. Let me know what you thought of the deck and the match this week, and if you have any suggestions how to improve it for anyone else out there that might want to sort of recreate what I've done today, feel free to leave those in a comment below. Something I would like to do just for fun, once I'm done with the break evolutions, now that we have all these dual-type Pokemon, I want to see just how much damage Xerneas' Rainbow Force can get off. Because if we have, for example, Shiftry would be Grass Dark, Volcarona is, well, not Grass Fire, but there's so many different dual types that if you can put one different dual type on the bench and fill up all 5 spots, if you get all types in play, that would be 310 damage if I'm doing the math right, if the dual types are spread out across the different types as I hope they are. Anyway, that'll be for a future time, but again, for next week, let me know which break evolution you would like to see. And that is about it for this week's Pokemon TCG live online match. I want to say thank you for checking out the video today, everybody. Hope you liked the match, and Professor Chaz is signing off. I'll catch you next time.